Have you ever heard a word for the first time? A word like, I don't know, crepuscular, which, by the way, is an adjective describing twilight. And then the next day you see crepuscular again in a novel. And then you see it again the next day in your biology textbook. And you start to wonder, how is it possible that I've gone the first 20 years of my life without ever seeing the word crepuscular, and now in the last week I've seen crepuscular 3 times? I know I've experienced this strong feeling of coincidence before, many times, and there's a name for it. It's called the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon. Nobody really knows why it's called that. The Baader-Meinhof group was a late 20th century left-wing militant faction from West Germany. It's likely that the person who gave it that name just happened to be awash in coincidental Baader-Meinhof references. The more scientific name for this phenomenon is the frequency illusion, and it's just another example of our old friend, the cognitive bias, at work. See, when we see something for the first time and then many times directly thereafter, it can lead us to believe that there's a greater synchronicity at work in the world around us. Perhaps it's an artifact of determinism, the feeling that everything happens for a reason. The coincidence we feel is just too astronomically unlikely. But of course, the truth is that most, bordering on all things, don't happen for a reason, despite our intuition that they do. And yet, it's just that intuition activated in the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon that gives us an interesting look into the machinery of the mind. Our brains are essentially pattern-recognizing superheroes, able to find meaning in countless pieces of data, whether it's our ability to see words in a newspaper word search or to work out through fine mathematics the natural laws of the universe. For this reason, stimuli which are excited sort of sit in wait at the fore of the brain for similar stimuli with which to identify a pattern. In other words, you may have seen the word crepuscular a number of times in your life, but your brain just wasn't interested. The frequency illusion is augmented by 2 other phenomena. First, the recency effect, a cognitive bias that inflates the importance of recent stimuli or observations. And second, by the confirmation bias, which in this case is precisely your belief that you're seeing this new thing all over the place. And the frequency illusion can become confirmation bias when our passive experience of repeatedly seeing a new thing turns into an active search for still more examples of the magic that summons it. But what's more interesting to me about this phenomenon is not the coincidences that you think you see, but all the patterns that are zipping by in your day-to-day life that you don't register at all. The Baader-Meinhof illusion proves that we only see the things that we're looking out for. This can be bad in the case of confirmation bias, but it also goes to show how ignorance can be maintained through a lack of active learning. The more you prime your mind by reading and writing to see new patterns, the more reality will unfold before you as an extraordinary mechanism of natural laws. The more humanity will show itself to be an empathetic and beautiful mess of self-delusions and cognitive biases. I could end this video, like everybody else who writes articles about this subject does, by saying that you'll probably see the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon again sometime soon. But of course, those people weren't talking about the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon merely as a ruse to get you to take more notice of the word crepuscular. Because that's what I was doing. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Sorry I was a little bit late last week with the video. I was traveling all over God's creation. I just didn't have the time to finish it. I was wondering if you liked the Understanding Art House feature that I did last week. It's a little bit different, but I was thinking of doing it as a series sprinkled in between other videos. Tell me what you think. Also, I sort of like putting out the video on Monday. I might continue to do that instead of Friday. I don't know, I just feel like it gives more opportunity for people to see it. The weekend people usually check out. Let me know what you think about that as well. Follow me on Tumblr and Twitter. Discuss this video in the comments and post this on Reddit if you have any heart at all for me and continuing to do this, and I love you so much. For that, I will see you next time.